Doctor, should I?
Hello. Yeah. Abba, we can hear you.
Yeah. Namaste and hello, all teachers. I, Ramchandra Dalvi, co-founder of S R Dalvi Foundation, welcome you all to yet another webinar for teachers. Today webinar is on Padlet, a most popular tool for teachers. In fact, this was suggested by teacher Aarti Chaudhary. So I want to thank Aarti Chaudhary ji for good suggestions. And then our team immediately who got into action spoke to Padlet in USA and arranged this webinar. So thank you, Dr. Nain. One of the objective of our foundation is to empower teachers with latest digital tool, and thus we have lined up many such webinars. Talking about digitization, I appeal to all teachers to join on digital platform for teachers called Teacher Talk. Please download this app. Teacher Talk and continue to enjoy the activity which we have planned for teachers. I now welcome Ms. Audrey Leong from Padlet to show us how Padlet can be useful to teachers. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess that's my cue. Hi everyone, I'm Audrey from Padlet. Basically today we'll be running through some uses of Padlet, some examples, things that I see from teachers. Teachers always really surprise me sometimes with the creativity that you guys have to use Padlet. And I'm just today going to show you some examples. We're going to run through how to use Padlet. And at the end, we're going to have a short Q&A session using Padlet. And you guys can ask me anything you want to ask, okay? So I'm going to quickly share my screen right here. And if you can see it, please give me a thumbs up. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Right, awesome. Okay, now I'm just gonna ask for your understanding because my monitor is here, but my webcam is here. So some of the time I will be looking right here. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat, or you can wait until the end of the presentation. Okay. All right, so we're gonna first start off with my favorite way to use Padlet, and that is in an icebreaker board right here. So if you can see this icebreaker board here, Nitesh, Carla, and Julia, some of my colleagues, sometimes when you start class or you just enter a new room full of people you don't know, it can be really shy and nervous. So what I really like to use Padlet for is an icebreaker board. So right here you can see some introductions from some of my colleagues. And we're going to add one of our own, right? So for example, if I was a student, I'm going to click on this bottom right pink icon here to add a post. And some really cool things that you can do with Padlet. So for example, let's say I love Harry Potter, right? So I'm going to put, maybe my name is Audrey here, and I'm going to write, I love Harry Potter, right? And from here, what we can do is we can actually open up this menu here. If you click on the 3 dots more, you can actually do a web search, an image web search, or a GIF web search. So for example, let's say I want to include a GIF of Harry Potter, right? I'm going to click on GIF and then search Harry Potter. And I can include a GIF right here. So I'm going to select this one. He's really cute in this. So I'm going to add a GIF here, or I can add a picture from the web and stuff like that. So you can see for some examples here, Julia has uploaded her own photo. She has added some short introduction of herself. So this is some ways that you can use Padlet in this form right here. So as an icebreaker. Now, other ways that you can use Padlet resource boards. I've seen teachers do this a lot of times where they have many links, many resources they want to share with their students. They want to collate it into one Padlet board for all students at any time to select. You can do this. So this is kind of like a grid layout. So every time you insert a link, it creates one small post here, and students can access this anytime as long as they have some kind of internet connection access, So this is just some examples. You can also upload PDF Word documents if needed. So this is just an example here, and you can actually see that it opens within Padlet itself. So I think that's really helpful, right? Yeah, so this is another way. And then of course we have something more interactive. So if let's say we're giving students an interactive a quiz, right? So I want my students to map things together. So for example, this is a very easy world map quiz, right? So I'm gonna map, say this flag here is France. So in this format, I can actually select the post here and connect it to a post, and I can select France. So when I connect, you see there's a connection here, right? So you can use this in multitude in many ways. It doesn't have to be in this way, but you can do a mind map. I see a lot of teachers do really amazing mind maps and things like that for their students. So for example, this flag, let's see, it's Uruguay, right? So maybe I'm gonna connect this over here. Now you see this grade button here. So actually once students finish their quizzes and stuff, so let's say France, this is correct, right? I'm going to give this a grade. Now the maximum grade is 100, you can grade. So since they got this correct, I'm going to give it 100 right here. Now multiple people can grade, so you can get peers to grade each other, and basically what happens is that Padlet will take the average score of all the grades, right? So if another person were to vote to grade like an 80, then they would take the average over here. So it is available on all of the Padlet formats. All right. So that's one way. Another way is actually a quiz. So Padlet has this comment section here, right? So over here at Padlet, we are big Harry Potter fans. So this is just a Harry Potter quiz. So for example, let's give an answer to one of these questions. What does Draco Malfoy call Hermione that Ron describes as a disgusting thing to call someone? And in the books, that's mudblood, right? So students can actually answer questions in the comments. Maybe you can play a game, you know, like fastest fingers, you know, the first comment that appears, that kind of thing. So on here, I'm going to share some other functions and features of Padlet. Over here, you can actually rate the number of stars. You can unrate it as well, and all of that. So how do I get all of these ratings, upvotes, and all of that to show up, right? How to do that is you go into the modify section here. So the modify section is this settings icon. Once you click that, this menu appears, right? So over here, you see you have many different customizations. I'm going to try and help you break down each of them. So over here, you can upload your own icon or select emojis, you know, if you want to spice things up a bit, or you can add your own icon. You can also change your QR code, not the QR code, sorry, the URL here. If it's sometimes boring for you to have random numbers, you can always have a unique URL. And if maybe you want to have a unique URL for each student, you can actually have their name as the URL. Yeah. Wallpapers, you know, we have a few wallpapers here. There's so many different wallpapers to choose from, right? And you can add your own as well. Color scheme is more for students who maybe have a bit of difficulty viewing. Maybe in dark it's easier, maybe for them sometimes light is easier. So it's just, you know, about a matter of accessibility. Font sizes, so on and so forth. And comments, right? So comments here you can toggle on and off. I've seen some teachers do this where they want only teachers to be able to comment on posts, and that is possible. So basically how that works is that whenever you want to comment, you can turn on comments. Once you finish commenting and you don't want students to comment anymore, you just go back and turn off the comments. So then all existing comments, for example, this existing comment that I left here is still on the Padlet, right? And if I want to open up commenting again, I just turn it on and save, right? Then I can comment again. Now, over here, you will find reactions. So we have a few like, upvote, star, and grading, as we mentioned just now. I'll show you what the likes look like as well later on in another Padlet bot, right? And I think require approval is something that a lot of teachers also find very helpful. So how this works is basically anytime students add to the Padlet bot, unless it is approved by the creator, the teacher, it will not show up to anybody else. So this really helps teachers when they want their students to submit answers, but they don't want people to copy off each other. Then you can actually turn on require approval so that answers don't show up for any students until you click approve, right? And of course, filter profanity. This is always on by default, filter profanity. Bad words are all filtered out, replaced with emojis, okay? So these are just some of the examples on what Padlet can do. I'm gonna show you another example of what you can use with Padlet, right? So another one would be a sharing session, right? So over here, I've just done up this quick Padlet bot. Basically, it's about students just sharing what they did over the weekend, so students can just go in and type, I finished all my homework. Right, and they can share with each other and add comments and upvote or downvote, that kind of thing, right? So I really like this for just students chatting with each other, just having a not so serious lesson all the time, Yeah, so students can share with each other using this stream format. And the last thing here is the voting bot. So over here, you see the heart shapes, right? So these are all the likes. So you can get students to vote on maybe the best answer or what they want for, over here it's the prompt theme. So you can vote for your favorite theme and things like that, right? So, and this is also the timeline format. In my day, when I was back in school in history class, I drew a lot of timelines. If we had Padlet back then, I wouldn't be needing to draw so many timelines. So over here, you can actually get your students to, have a time to do up a timeline for you guys. So, it kind of just goes in this direction. So you can add like 0 BC, blah, blah, and so on and so forth, right? So this is the timeline format. Now, the last thing that I really want to show you guys is this exercise here in columns. I find that this is one of the most popular formats with teachers. I'm not really sure why. Maybe because it's very organized into the different sections, right? So over here you have a header, and then you have posts below. So for example, what we know, what we want to know, what we learned, questions we have, right?
Audrey,
so,
Audrey, sorry
yeah.
to interrupt, Audrey, sorry. We are getting messages that the screen is not clear from 3 different teachers. So Poojaji, Amrinji, are you using on a mobile or on a laptop? Because it's clear here. Anybody else is getting the same problem? They are saying the screen is not clear.
It's visible, sir.
Visible, no?
Yeah.
So maybe because I think
maybe because of network, maybe network issue.
Okay. And audio also is clear to all of you?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Okay, Audrey, continue. Yeah.
Okay, technical difficulties, I understand. For the teachers who cannot really see the screen right now, the meeting is recorded, so I hope you guys will be able to view the recording. So back to Padlet. So over here we have a header, right? And at the bottom we can add more posts. So for example, this post is on giraffes. So maybe we're gonna say, why do giraffes only eat from trees, right? For example. Now, your students then can add posts at the bottom, and you can actually color them as well for easier viewing, or just to have fun. So you can actually color the post as well, and add pictures and links and all of that kind of thing. So this is one of the examples, right? So this is the shelf format. All right, so this is one of the last formats that Padlet has. We're gonna move into the Q&A section right here. So I'm going to open up this Padlet bot, this Padlet bot on the post demo, and I'm going to share it in the chat function. And please feel free to ask me any questions that you may have right on this Padlet bot. All right, so click on the link. Can everyone access it? You should be able to see this screen right here. Right, okay, so go ahead, on the bottom right corner, you should see this pink plus sign. Please click on that and add your questions here. All right, in the meantime, while I wait for some questions, I will run through some commonly asked issues, or like issues with Padlet. People don't understand why their students can't write and or add to the Padlet bot and stuff like that, right? So some troubleshooting issues are usually under the share menu. So under share, you have different privacy options, right? So I'm gonna click on change privacy so you can see the different settings. So private means that all the Padlet, right, is completely hidden from the public. Nobody is able to access it except for yourself. So this is a completely private Padlet just for you, okay? Then you have password. So password protects the Padlet. So you set your own password and you password protect this Padlet, right? And then depending on your plan, you may have organization-wide. If you are part of an organization that uses Padlet backpack or briefcase, then you will have organization-wide. And this is for everyone in that particular organization to view the Padlet. If you are not part of an organization and you just use Padlet on your own, then you probably wouldn't have this. You would have something called members only. Now, members only means that for your students to be able to log into your Padlet, they must have a Padlet account as well. So this prevents any sort of anonymous posting. And for students to sign up to Padlet on Padlet.com, it's free. So there's no need, don't worry, like they have to pay and things like that, right? So it's free for them. And the last thing is secret. Secret is the one that's most commonly used. Secret means that it's private. I mean, it's hidden from the public, but if you share the URL for your Padlet bot, right, and then you send it to your students or through email or on WhatsApp, they will be able to click on that URL and access the Padlet bot. Okay, then we have visitor permissions. There are 3. Okay, can write, can read, and can edit. So can read is just viewing. So basically, you don't want students to touch anything on the Padlet bot. You just want them to read. Maybe it's a bunch of articles you just want them to read, right? Then you can select can read. Okay, so this won't allow them to mess with your Padlet bot. Only you can touch your Padlet bot, right? And then we have can write. Can write is when you want students to contribute to your Padlet bot. You want them to create their own posts. Then you select can write. Okay. Then we have can edit. So can edit is very powerful. I usually don't see teachers use this, but can edit basically allows the students to delete each other's posts, edit each other's posts, and things like that. So usually teachers don't really use this. It's mainly between can read and can write. Okay. So anytime your students say, ma'am, I can't add into the Padlet bot, then it's usually the issue here under can read versus can write. Okay.
Ms. Leong, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, just a request. Could you just take us through the change privacy policy once again? Like, how do we go there? If you can just
okay.
us, yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. So that will be under the share column, the share button here. So top right corner. So share and then change privacy over here. Okay, then let's say I want to, okay, right now everyone's contributing to this Padlet, so I don't want to make any changes, but you can just make a change and then save it. Okay, and then you can just change here and save. Anything that you do, just make sure that you click save after that. Right, okay, let's go through some of the questions. Is the app free? Yes, we do have a free version on Padlet.com. You can go ahead and create your Padlets there. Please, how to start the Padlet. Okay, I will run through how to start the Padlet from scratch in a moment. Can you please show how to do the matching activity? Okay, I can run through that again. How can we create break rooms once we are using Padlet? So I'm not sure how each of the teachers conduct your lessons currently. If it is currently on Zoom, and you want all of them to, breakout room 1 have their own Padlet, then you can create multiple Padlets and then assign them to each individual group, right? Okay, so I'm gonna run through how to create the Padlet bot first, okay? Right, so when you first sign into Padlet, it will look something like this. Of course, I have a lot of bots here because we've been using this account for a very long time. So basically, when you sign in, you're gonna click on Make a Padlet, okay? So top, the left-hand side here, pink button, Make a Padlet. Then you can select the different format that you want. So right now I want to choose Canvas. Okay, Canvas is that matching activity. Okay, so you have some examples, like you can see the animations here on roughly how your Padlet would look like. You can select Canvas. Right, so right here, immediately you get some customization options. Matching exercise, right? Okay, I don't want to add any icons. I'm going to change the wallpaper because I don't really like the orange here. Okay, let's say jetpack. All right. And then, okay, so I'm just going to leave all of these here first and click next. Okay, so we can start posting here. I'm going to start posting and I'm going to create 2 different posts that I can link together. Okay, so let's say we're going to do the giraffe. Okay, so this giraffe. Okay, then I have maybe another one that's a bear. Okay, and then I'm gonna, for using our web search, what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to find pictures on Google Bing. So our search engine is Bing. So if you want to search, let's say I want to search for a picture of a giraffe right here. Okay, we're gonna leave this here to load. Then I'm gonna search for another image of a bear. Okay. Oops, images. Okay. Now, you will see I have 2 pictures, one of a bear and one of a giraffe, right? And I want to link these options together. So I'm gonna select these 3 dots, okay, on the post, and then connect to a post. And then I'm going to select where I want to connect it to. So over here, it's bear, right? So it's a bit dark right now. Let me try and change the wallpaper so you can see it. Right, okay. Let me know, okay, so right here, you can see the line connecting these 2 posts, right? Now I want to connect giraffe to this picture, connect to a post, connect, right? So this is how we do that matching thing, right? Okay, I hope that answers the question. Okay, in Padlet, how many total number of ways are there to use for teachers and students? How to use Padlet in Google Meet? Okay, so how many total number of ways? I really can't answer this. There are many different kinds of formats, many different things you can do with Padlet. There are altogether 7 different kind of formats. So just go ahead, explore, decide which format is best for you to run that activity, right? How to use it in Google Meet. So basically, when you have a Google Meet with your students, you can give them the link, right? So for example, let's say how to share a link, right? You click on share, then copy the link to your clipboard, and then you paste it in Google Meets, and then have your students work on the Padlet. And while they are working on the Padlet, you can actually see in real time what is happening. And at the end of it, maybe you can get them to present the Padlet, right? So that's some of the ways you can use Padlet. Can we use Padlet for assessment purposes, quiz? Yes, you can. So previously mentioned, this is that Harry Potter quiz, right? So you can post some questions here and have the students answer in the comments, right? Yeah, so that's one way you can do quizzes. All right, so yeah, so that's there are many functionalities for Padlet. For example, like if you click here, just simply looking at this menu of a post, right? You can actually draw on a pad on as well. So, you know, if I'm just gonna quickly draw a smiley face here, your students can also draw on a post, right? So it's not just limited to writing, typing, and all of that, and photos. You can actually draw on a Padlet as well. So I think that's one more way to make it more fun, right? Does anyone have any other questions? The connect post not reflecting on my Padlet. Okay, sometimes when you connect the Padlets here, right, the wallpaper can be in a way like the color and stuff like that. So it'll be wise to see if the connection is actually there, but you just can't see it. And sometimes if you want to disconnect a post, you can actually do the same thing. So the three dots here, and then you disconnect from the post and you cross it out, right? And then connecting is the same way, right? So if you click connect, it should show. Okay, and you have to make sure that the format of the Padlet for this connecting thing is canvas, all right? So when you create the Padlet here, you have to select canvas over here, okay? Are there any other questions? Right, so see, you can make use of the GIFs as well. Okay, anyone have any other questions?
Hello, Miss Audrey.
Yes.
Can you just give a demonstration how to create a quiz and assessment file? Can you just give a demonstration?
Okay, very simple. So for example, I'm gonna make a Padlet. We're gonna do it like a quiz way, right? Like the comments, the way that I mentioned. So for example, what I'm gonna do is I wanna select maybe grid. I like grid. So grid, right? Let's see. What kind of quiz do we want to give? Okay. Let's
give a quiz on solar system.
Solar system quiz. Okay, so you can adjust this the way you want. I like it as it is currently. I'm going to turn on the comments, right? Okay, and then all of these I'm gonna leave it as it is, and then I'm going to.
We all can participate in that quiz also if you're preparing.
Sorry?
We can participate in that quiz also if you're preparing that quiz. So it will get a demo.
Okay, sure. So let me save this. So next, start posting.
Yeah,
okay.
And then we can give some prize to the quiz winner.
Right. Okay, so what is the smallest planet, right, in the solar system? Okay, so so I'm gonna share this with all of you in the chat. The first one to comment wins. Okay. Right, so see, someone already commented right here. Now they're showing up as anonymous because they are not key, they currently do not have a Padlet account, and they're not keying in with a Padlet account right now. So that's why they show up as anonymous, right? So Mercury is the smallest planet. Yes.
Audrey, I have muted everybody. Audrey, sorry, muted everybody. I think somebody. So please unmute yourself, please, Audrey.
Yeah, no stress, it's okay.
Yeah.
So right here, you will see everyone's commenting, creating their own posts, Mercury, right? And someone even added a photo. So this is some of the ways that you can use to, do that quiz. So I hope it answers your question.
Wow, somebody had to add picture of Mercury. That whoever has put that really deserves a good applause.
Right. So yeah, so I think it's good to say a lot of you are now actually quite experts on how to use Padlet, right? It's really simple, straightforward. Yeah. Any questions?
excuse me, Miss.
Yes.
Miss, the person who is commenting, I mean, sending the answer, so
Mhm.
that person name doesn't come on the Padlet.
Right. So the name will come under Padlet if they are commenting with a account. So for example, right now, if Dr. Nayan has an account, right, and he logs in and then he comments, then I will see his name. But currently right now, because nobody is logged into a Padlet, you can't really see their names. Then of course it will show up as anonymous. But of course, there's this thing under the modify over here, the settings icon, you can turn on attribution. So attribution, if the person is logged in, then I will be able to see the name displayed at the top.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Miss. Thank you.
No worries. Okay, let's see. So no other questions?
Miss, is
Yes.
this app free? Is this app free?
Yes, there is a free version of this app. You can sign up for a free account at padlet.com. Right, so I can actually just key in the address for you. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a link. You can sign up for free at this link right here. Okay. Yes, all those features are available in the free version as well. The only limit between the free version and the paid version is that when you upload documents, the free version gives you 10 MB and is limited to 3 Padlets. So if you want to create new Padlets, you just archive them so that you can free up some space to create more. Okay. But everything else is the same. So your formats, the different settings and all of that is all the same.
So at a time, how many resources I can create, ma'am?
Sorry, what do you mean by how many resources?
Resources, like suppose if I'm creating 2-3 quizzes, so what is the limit of the quizzes like?
So the limit is actually based on your free account. So your free account right now has 3 free Padlets, right? So then you can create 3 separate quizzes. If you want to create more quizzes, you have to archive or delete the existing 3 to create more.
Okay.
Okay, I saw someone has issues in retrieving archived Padlets. Okay, let me see if I have any archived Padlets here. Oh, archive. Okay, so I have one archive Padlet here. To unarchive, click on these 3 buttons here and then click unarchive. Okay. If we accidentally delete the Padlet, is there any way to retrieve it on the website? Okay, so as of 8 April, we did implement a feature to retrieve Padlets within 14 days. So if you deleted your Padlet within 14 days, we can still retrieve the entire Padlet. Okay. But if you delete the entire the post itself on the Padlet, right? This is going to be a bit more difficult. We can't retrieve posts, but we can retrieve the entire Padlet if you accidentally delete it within 14 days. Okay. Okay, any questions?
So I think there's a question, can we use Padlet for assessment purpose? I think that's been answered.
Okay, I think for your assessment purposes, it really depends on how you carry out your assignment. For me, if you like, for example, just now previously I showed in this example here that you can grade students' posts, right? So for example, let's say we have this right here, right? Now, what we learned, under what we learned, I'm going to turn on the reactions grade, okay? Save this. Now, let's say what the students shared is under this column here, right? Under what we learned, and I want to grade their responses. Then I can click on grade and give them marks out of here. Okay, so 87 out of 100. I really like this post, so I'm going to give him 90, right? So you can use it in an assessment way if that's how you carry out your assessments, but it really varies from teacher to teacher how you carry out your assessments and quizzes and stuff like that, but you can grade on Padlet.
So, and where do you see the leadership board of all the students who have got the marks?
Sorry?
Do we see the leadership board of the students?
So currently right now, I think what you are, so basically, we have a lot of requests to be like, okay, all those who are most upvoted, can we move the post according to the highest marks or the highest votes, right? Currently, we have received a lot of requests like this. We are looking to doing something like that. But at the moment right now, the posts remain as they are. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think someone's sending their, oh, yeah, so someone sent in the chat, they sent in their Padlet board. So this mind map, right, that is in the PDF document, you can actually translate it into the Canvas option. So right here, you don't have to actually put it on a PDF anymore. You can actually put it on the Canvas right here, right? So you can have the mind map right here. Is there any way to add another person as collaborator to the Padlet that we create? So if let's say you and another teacher, both of you are teaching in the same class and both of you need to grade, you can. Basically what you do is under the share menu over here, you add the member. So let me see who is in this. Let's see. Okay, Brian is one of my colleagues, right? So I'm going to add Brian here, and then I'm going to mention that he can administer. So can administer means that he can approve other people's posts, he can modify, delete the posts and stuff like that. So almost exactly like the owner of the Padlet. So you can just select can administer and then save, and then Brian will be able to do the same things that the owner can do. So this way two teachers can collaborate on the same Padlet, right? If let's say you are talking about collaboration with students and stuff like that, then you can actually just copy the link to your clipboard and then send out this link to your students, right? And then there are a bunch of other like options here, like embedding the Padlet. If you want to save the Padlet forever, you can print it out, you can save it as an image and all of that. Yeah, so it's up to you how you want to use the Padlet. All right. Okay, I'm gonna close this mind map for now. Okay.
I prepared this, madam, in Padlet. Santosh.
Yeah, ma'am, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Ma'am, can we use this Padlet for putting up the notes so that our children can read the notes, the resources we can put here on the Padlet?
Yes, yes. So for example, just now previously we showed the resources board, right? So they have articles here, we have Word documents here, we have videos as well. So over here you can upload, you can add a link to a YouTube video if that's part of your resource, and it will play over here, right? You can also add, so right here, this is on SoundCloud, and then we have a Word document here. As well, you can attach this to your Padlet board and articles, right? So these are all resources for students.
So ma'am, by default, nobody can modify that, right? Nobody can change that.
Right, yeah. So to be able to make sure that nobody can change this, once again, your settings have to be set to can read.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Audrey, can we also check that which student has spent how much time on which note?
Oh, okay. So for this, we don't really track the how much time the students spend, because I think this is not something that is widely really requested. But if you ask for stats like how many students have visited your Padlet, things like that, we can give you stats on that. So how many visitors, and for example, if you have 15 visitors, like let's say you have 15 visitors but 30 views, right? So we can show you the visitors and the views as well. So those are the stats that we have.
Okay.
Ma'am, writing the blog on Padlet means writing the comments, right?
What do you mean writing the blog?
Like I've heard that like few children write the blogs on the Padlet. So that means they are writing the comments. Is it true? What is the meaning of writing the blog?
Okay, for me, what it sounds like is that students are just using Padlet to write posts, right? Posts and comments are different. So for example, let's see, so this sharing session, right? So this here is a post, but this is a comment. You will see that it falls under the comment section, and this is the post, right?
Okay.
Right, so this is how the post will be on top and the comment is at the bottom. It's kind of like Facebook, you know, Facebook has the post and then like a comment at the bottom.
Okay.
Excuse me, miss. Can we put our recording, like if you want to record something in our voice?
Yes, you can. So let's say I'm going to create a new post, right? Again, on the three dots, then I can have an audio recorder here. You have to give permission for Padlet to use your microphone on your computer. Then you just record and then you can attach it to the post. Okay, you can actually also, so in addition to audio recording, you also have video recording. So if you record on Padlet, you can actually upload it to the post.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
May I?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Santosh from Mumbai. I just want to ask you how to set up the user-friendly interface of Padlet. In brief, you can describe.
What do you mean by user-friendly interface?
Interface means just like I want to ask you the setting of Padlet.
Okay, so it falls under when you first try and make a Padlet, right? So when you make a Padlet here, select a format and stuff, it falls under here. So your modify will help you, set up your initial stages of whether you want comments, posts, the reactions, that kind of thing. And then whether you want to filter. So it's a whole list of different ways to set up your Padlet. So yeah, so once you've set this up, then just make sure that your share settings over here are correctly set to can write and secret. Then you can just share and it will be easy for your students to just post as long as you have the instructions put out here, right? So yeah, so under the modify, this is the menu we saw just now. So maybe you want to tell students write about what you learned this week, right? Lesson sharing, right? And if you already have the title and the instructions here on the Padlet, then it's really easy for students to just go in and write and contribute to the Padlet.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I hope that answers the question. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I think we are done. So,
Hello.
yeah, please go on.
No, sir. No questions.
Okay.
Just thanking Miss for this amazing session.
Yeah. So we'll be having one feedback form. Please just fill up that feedback form. We are sending a link right away. Meanwhile, Audrey, thank you so much. Lovely session. Thank you. And yeah, I'm sure the teachers here would have learned quite a few new things today from you. And Audrey, I would want your help to connect with your marketing department and see that what best deal that can get for the schools and colleges here in India. Okay. So
Sure,
I'll talk to you.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you separately already.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
Great. And thank you so much, Audrey. That was fantastic, lovely. And I didn't knew that so many people really knew that. I mean, of course, they're all teachers. That Mercury is the smallest planet. Even I didn't know that. Okay. And I can see the enthusiasm of teachers even posting the pictures and the GIFs. Thank you. Thank you all teachers for participating because every event is the success lies of the event in the participation. So thank you all the teachers who participated today. I'm sure you would have picked up quite a few things today from Audrey. You would have learned new things from her. And if you want to learn more, please keep writing to us. Please keep posting on the group. Please keep talking to us. And we'll keep on bringing the best things. We'll try to connect again with Audrey once again. If at all you want to go in details or you want to learn more about a Padlet from her. Okay. Thank you. And
Hello.
Ramchandra Dalvi and Sita Dalvi, the founders of S R Dalvi Foundation. Thank you so much for organizing this event and their support, constant support, and they keep wanting us to do a lot of things for teachers. And like in the beginning, like Ramchandra Dalvi mentioned it, keep looking forward to more such webinars on various tools, digital tools, which will empower teachers. Okay. And okay, let me mute everybody. Yeah. And thank you. Please, my request for all of you is to please fill up the feedback form. It will help us to know more. It's nothing. We're not going to harass you. Don't worry. We just want to know genuinely about this kind of webinars that we keep conducting for you guys. And it will encourage us, motivate us to do more for all the teachers. So please fill up the form. The link for the form is given in the chat room, okay, in the chat box, okay. And do download Teacher Talk app and be on this platform. A lot of activities happening. We keep posting a lot of information for teachers on this. A lot of other teachers keep posting. It's a platform, digital platform, and it's a community of teachers. So do download the Teacher Talk app. Audrey, thank you so much. Have a nice evening, Audrey.
Okay, very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you separately, Audrey.
Okay. Sir, thank you all the team of S R Dalvi Foundation. On behalf of all teachers, I must say thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Audrey madam. You explained it in a very simple manner. Thank you, ma'am.
That was
Nayan, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Suppose now we'll be using this Padlet. Suppose sometime if we get stuck, can we directly contact Miss Audrey and solve our queries and doubts?
Audrey, are you available? It's a good question from teacher Sangramji. Audrey, would you be available on an email or anything?
So let me quickly share again, okay? So right here, you will see your Padlet account and stuff like that, right? Your first line of defense is always this question mark here. You can click on the knowledge base. So basically, it's a whole bunch of articles. We have how to do this, how to do that. I have a problem here. We have all sorts of questions. Just, how do I? So you just key in your question, there's like a bunch of answers here. So if you can't find your answer here, click on contact us. Then it will bring you to a form, and myself and my team of support operations people will be able to answer your questions.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Sangramji, even if you Thereafter also, if you don't get your answer, please connect with us. We'll help you connecting to Audrey.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm sure what Audrey showed the way by that couple of
Yes.
steps, you should get all the answers.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, and we are working out. We'll talk to Padlet marketing team and see what best deal we can get for various schools and colleges for their paid account. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And please don't forget to give the feedback on this link given here. Please fill up the form. It just encourages us. If you're doing good, it will help us to do better. If you're not doing good, it will help us to improve. So we want a genuine feedback. Okay, and please do give us a genuine feedback. Thank you so much. And do download Teacher Talk app. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Santoshji, is that you, Santoshji, right? Santosh Khandalkar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Santoshji. Yes, sir. Yeah.
How will I get a certificate of this webinar, sir?
Oh, yeah.
After
So that will be, yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, moment you fill up the feedback form, please put your genuine mobile number. So, somebody from our team will get in touch with you immediately. I think by tomorrow you should be getting the response, and we'll take your name, because you know what happens in a Zoom. Some names comes as a mobile number. Okay. Redmi and other. So we need your exact name. So somebody from our team will connect with you, and then we'll make a certificate and we'll mail it to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So you'll get an instruction from our team. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and we'll be putting the Padlet logo on the certificate.
Yes, sir. It's a proud thing.
Great. Thank you. So you are Nanaji, is it? You're called Nana.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
It's
So
nice.
you're from which city, Santoshji?
Yes, sir. I'm living in Thane.
Okay.
I'm working in Sion, KPPV.
Oh, okay, okay. Nice. Okay, lovely. So please download Teacher Talk app. Please be active there. A lot of things happening there. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Audrey, I don't want to hold you for long now. I know it's a evening for you in Singapore. Enjoy your evening and we'll connect again.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you. Lovely, Audrey. Thank you so much. Okay, so I hope all of you have already clicked on the link and started giving the feedback. We'll end the session here now and look forward to see you again. So next session will be on 1 second, it's on Friday 30th. Okay, Friday the 30th, and we'll be having a session on Nearpod. And again, one gentleman, Damien, he will be conducting the session from the company itself, from Nearpod. Yes, Arti Daryani ji. Yes, we'll definitely keep you in loop. And please download the Teacher Talk app. All the information is available on that app. And and we would, if any teachers has got any suggestions for us, so even today this session was conducted thanks to one suggestion that we received from one of the teachers, and we got this Padlet to conduct this webinar. Similarly, ClearPod also next week is being conducted by ClearPod team itself, and it was suggested by teachers. So if you have any more other tools which you want to learn, let us know. We'll connect with all these companies and we'll get the webinars done. And we'll also be getting certificate from with this company's logo. Yes, Sushmita Mitra ji. Yes, we'll keep giving you information about various things. And do suggest us any topics. Even, I mean, teachers, अगर आपको कुछ webinars की कुछ topic अगर आपके दिमाग में है, अगर आपको कुछ चाहिए, please suggest us. हम लोग करते रहेंगे. All right, so I'll end the session here now. Thank you, see you, and please fill up the form. Because only when you fill up the form, we'll get your exact name and number, and we'll be able to give you a certificate. So please don't forget to fill up the feedback form. The app name, okay, let me put the app name here, Teacher Talk, and let me, Abhishek, can you please put a link for the app, please?
Sir, I have a question. May I?
Yes, Sushmita. Yes, Sushmita. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, sir. The thing is, sir, because some of us, I don't know about the others, but some of us are working. So the timings 2:30, can it be a little later?
Yeah.
Because
So
we had to yeah.
I understand, Sushmita. You're right. But only unfortunately in these today's, generally we keep on Saturdays and that too at around 4 and 4:30. But today, because this was Audrey was from Singapore and she उसके time के हिसाब से थोड़ा हमको adjust करना पड़ा. Okay.
No
So
problem,
she
sir. Thank
so this was the only exception. Next time it's on Friday 30th and it's at 5:30 our time. Which
Okay,
will be 8 a.m. in USA. So he's going to conduct this webinar from USA, and that will be 8 a.m. for him.
So that's perfect time, sir. That will be that will be after our working hours. So it won't be any clash.
Sure.
Sir,
Thank
can
you.
I suggest you something?
Pooja ji, how are you, Pooja ji?
Fine.
Thank
Sir,
you, Pooja.
yes, today's webinar had just the starting part. What is there? I had missed it because I had my online lectures today.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was in between. So kindly, if it is on Saturday, it would be more useful for us.
Sure,
Because
Pooja ji.
Saturday, Sunday, we don't have the online lectures, na? This
Yeah.
becomes a bit difficult to adjust, sir.
Yes, Pooja ji. We understand
And
it.
if the recording is there, you can, sir, put it on Teachers Talk app. Then I can see the ahead 15 to 20 minutes recording what was there.
Sure, Pooja ji. We'll be sharing it on the app. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pooja ji.
Yes.
Any suggestions? Anything? Any comments?
No, it already the feedback is filled up.
Thank you, Pooja ji.
Yes,
Sir, the recording will be shared
On the app,
only in Teachers app. It will be put up over
Teacher
there.
Talk app. Teacher Talk app. Yes.
Teacher Doc app. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I hope that's all done for the day. Thank you all of you once again. I'll end the session now.